Hello, welcome to the first speed paint that I will be posting on this channel. I've been trying to get into digital art recently, if you can't see by the digital art in front of you. And I think I am not doing too hot. As with all my sketches, I like to start off with a good full page of just shapes, random shapes, any shapes you can get. Big pointer right there. I like a good pointer. I think a theme that you'll notice in a lot of these shapes that you'll see is that I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of drawing shapes. Some of them are overlapping, some of them aren't. Some of them don't really make sense. Some of them aren't even shapes or really in perspective. They're just kind of shapes that I am drawing. Some of them are referenced. Usually I'll have like a big page of shapes or something of the like. But other times, like whatever this is, it almost looks like a piano? I don't even know what I was going for here. Some of the things are just for the love of the shape. Yeah, like that thing. Like, what is that? Who knows? See, I even try to shade it, and I chicken out immediately. I find that I like to do these little shapes warm up just because it's a really non-committal way to kind of warm up your hands. You don't have to really particularly care about what you're drawing. There's no direction really. It's all just kind of shapes. I mean, I like to try to keep some of the shapes pretty practical, maybe kind of closer to what I might be drawing next. So if I'm gonna draw something with horns, draw horn shapes like some of those, even though I'm not really drawing horns in this speed paint. But, you know, boxes always help. Circles always help. Trying to just make the idea that some shapes are 3D in your drawing is always helpful. Got a little, I think, a tube going on here. Looks tubular. That's a tube. I think this is a little bit of cloth here. Yeah, just some practical shapes, some stuff that help you warm up your hands. Nothing too crazy. Some fun stuff. And I think another trend you'll see in probably anything that I post is I delete a lot of stuff. If I don't like something on my screen, it's very likely just gonna go away immediately. Oh, and here, this is one of my favorite other little exercises to do. Popping holes in shapes. It's a fun little thing to do. It helps things look a little 3D. Just Swiss cheese the hell out of just any shape you like, and it helps with a little bit of 3D. But yeah, now we're gonna come in with a little brush, just to kind of render out the shapes a little bit, show that they're not just 2D shapes that kind of look 3D. They have like some lighting in the room or something of the like. This part's more for me. None of this. Really, this page doesn't matter at all. This has nothing to do with even the speed paint. This is just kind of my warm up. I thought I'd like to show it and kind of track what my shapes are going to be looking like through whatever time frame I decide to keep these going. But yeah, they're looking pretty good. Couple shapes, good little warm up. But yeah, now we're going to start with the actual drawing. Originally I tried to sketch this drawing out. This is my drawing that I sketched on paper, but I attempted to sketch it back out in digital and it just immediately kind of fell flat on his face. So I thought, I'll just take a picture of it and throw it in here. Who's it gonna hurt? It's just let it happen. And yeah, here I'm just kind of doing the line art, some quick shapes, just kind of getting the overall form down. Nothing too refined just yet. I would like to continue to mention, I'm not good at digital art, and I'm not trying to claim to be any sort of authority on it. I just really want to learn the skill, and I think drawing is the only way I'm gonna do it. You can't really learn a skill by just thinking about it. So this is my application of attempt. And I think as I'm kind of getting through to this point in the drawing, I'm starting to notice a lot of mistakes that I made in the original actual sketch. They kind of, once you take away the background kind of blurriness that a sketch gives, you really see the misshapes that you've made throughout the line art process. Also, just rebinding some keys. Clip Studio Paint has a lot of buttons, it turns out, and if you were to slow this down, this is in times 10 speed, by the way. If you were to slow this down at all, you would see the millions of times that I accidentally press the eraser key or the pencil key instead of my pen, or literally any button I'm looking for. I never get it right, and it happened through this entire drawing. And just kind of like a note on my own drawing skill, I think as I'm kind of rendering out this sort of, or not rendering out, but lining out this sort of lower head area, the chin area, I think about a lot the chin shape. It's kind of a harder shape than you'd think. From the front, it is like a really just kind of ovular shape, but in reality, it's a 3D shape that's going back and up into your kind of, your jaw area. It's not just a circle. If you really look at what the bone looks like, and I think that's just something I struggle with. Something about that shape, something about the angle. It's always been a problem for me. And yeah, I think around here I start to notice how long that neck is right there. That's a long neck, and I hope I fix it. Yep, there it is. It gets fixed right there, just a little bit. Just drag it down. That is something I really like about digital art, is that you can just, if you don't like the proportions, you can just fix the proportions. Same with that arm. Big ol' arm. That can shrink down a little bit. And I think there's some problem I have with the line art and just digital art in general. Maybe it's just because I'm just kind of starting on really doing art as like something I'm not passionate in, but like trying to fully flesh out the skill of. I'm passionate in it, obviously, but fleshing out the skill, you really start to notice that your line art is a big expression of what your art style is. And I think the more that you're able to kind of lock down what you want your line art to look like, it ends up kind of defining what your full style is. Not the reshaping of this ear, it's crazy. But you start to get down the sort of full style that you have. And because I don't have it figured out, my style's kind of dubious at best. It's just kind of a vague mash of all of these different styles that I've come to love over the years. Influences from animes and shows. Oh, that's my desktop. Don't worry about that. I think we're switching to rendering mode. When I do rendering mode, I switch to like pen tablet mode instead of screen tablet. But yeah, back to what I was saying. The art style that I've been kind of enjoying throughout the years all kind of come together in this kind of mess of American and Japanese influences that they aren't always cohesive, but I think I'm starting to get down sort of they're starting to converge in a way that is looking a little bit better these days than they used to, for sure. Right here I'm just blocking in some colors. I don't know how to blocking colors better on these sort of programs. I know there's a way that people do it with lasso tools and all that crazy stuff, but I'm just sketching here, so just throwing some colors down just to see just to be inspired by kind of the next couple steps. It's whatever you can do to get yourself motivated to finish a drawing. I always try to do that first, but yeah, you're gonna see, if you're a digital artist, you're gonna see some things in this whole sweet paint that you might be kind of appalled by. That's why I would recommend don't look at the layers at any time. I will never be on the correct layer or be on the right one that I have labeled. They are labeled, but they are not used correctly. Yeah, now that we got some color in, we can kind of see more what I'm going for here. It's sort of a armored kind of priest look, angel look. It's, I don't know, it's a design. It's not perfectly executed, but I think as this character develops, I'd like to keep drawing a character and just try to get something down. But I think the colors are cool. I think we've got a good baseline. I don't know how I feel about the blue eyes. That does not change. That is the color that they are going to be. I think that might, I don't know how I feel about that in retrospect, looking at this now in the voiceover. But now that we got the colors blocked out, we're moving on to shading. And something I find with shading is that when I am shading, you start to notice how flat the rest of the drawing looks when you do shade. And in a way that's helpful for two reasons. It keeps you wanting to finish the rest of the drawing, another thing I'm talking about for motivation, but also it kind of helps you look for where shading might need to be. I mean, if you're looking at, I don't do it correctly, but when you see that an area looks flat, your immediate thought is like, what's wrong with it? And if you can kind of fix that by just throwing some darker colors in there, it is a helpful thing. But this isn't going to be a crazy drawing. No, there's no cool surprises here. Just a quick little sketch, a little render out, throw some color on. This is essentially just drawn over a sketch with markers. But I think it's fun. It's a good way to kind of get some reps in for digital art, and it's a long process art, and you have to kind of find your way any way you can. And my way seems to be this, I guess. But yeah, now we're moving on to the kind of the rendering of this metal chest plate. And I like the colors of the metal, but I don't think it really fits exactly with the whole color scheme of everything else. I think it's kind of an outlier for how not centerpiece I want it to be. And I think if you look back at the original sketch, you can see I really simplify this plate. But, you know, oh well. Just throwing in some highlights here. Just get some color down. Just get some cool, like, reflectiveness. And throw in a little bit of lighting. And yeah, actually, we're looking a little bit better. It looks arguably better than the sketch. I don't know. I have a problem. I think my sketches usually look better than anything I end up finishing. But especially when you zoom in closer, I think this is botched. But you know, art is art. It's done. I did it. So yeah, that's the character. That's the art. Now let's see if we can get oh, we're going back in for the eyes. Never mind. It's not over just yet. But I think with that, yep, we're done. There's definitely a couple things I'd say about this drawing now that I'm looking back at it. I think it kind of, to me, it takes around a day or two to really know whether or not you like a piece of art that you've drawn. And for me, it usually ends up being, I don't really like what I drew the day before or the day after. And, oh well, that's kind of the process, I guess. But I guess also, as you keep doing these sort of things, you end up finding your style and finding what you like. And hopefully this is the beginning of a new skill rather than a bunch of me messing up over and over again. But thank you for watching.